All right, check it out, guys. We are Big Mike and Little Ant, and we're coming back to you guys with our second episode. Hopefully, you enjoyed the last episode. And like we said before, we are two guys that's on a mission to entertain you guys with what is interesting to us, and we believe it will be interesting to a lot of you guys. Here's the cool thing. We have no limits. We can talk about some crazy stuff from our past. We'll get deep with you guys. We just want to please and enjoy anyone who is watching. So again, I am Little Ant, and this is Big Mike. So what do you got to say, Big Mike?
First of all, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, first and foremost. And we're really trying to, pick it up and do more things for you guys. Obviously, we're all in this quarantine state, so we're doing it right here, right now. But as soon as this is over, hopefully the sooner the better, we'll bring you a lot more content, stuff we'll discuss in this show that I think will be good. And maybe you guys can give us some of your ideas on that too. So.
This is true. Guys, you're going to be sitting here with us for a little bit, so let's all get comfortable.
You and this neck pillow, bro. It's hilarious.
Man, I love it.
Did he sleep with that too?
Huh?
Do you sleep with that too?
Sometimes I do.
That's hilarious.
I really do.
Wow.
Let me turn up my volume just a little bit. So guys, thanks again for watching. We also like to get feedback, advice, and constructive criticism. So please comment below on stuff you'll like to see, comment on stuff you love, and also comment on stuff that you kind of don't like so much. And we'll, try to tune things up. Also, we just want to be interactive, so please give us feedback. So Mike, how are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Been working from home every single day. Trying to, get through this whole coronavirus situation. Trying to, still stay active as much as possible, take walks throughout the neighborhood.
Right.
Whatever I can do, to maintain a healthy lifestyle, but still try to get through this as much as possible. How about yourself?
Man. So this is a week later that I've actually been laid off. So as you know, I've been laid off for a week. The cool thing is I've been cranking out content like somebody put a gun to my head. I honestly want to take a break, to be honest with you. I feel like I'm just doing too much, and it's like I feel like I get an idea and I just want to, I gotta make a video, I gotta be live, I gotta do this and that. But I feel weird. Like the other day I dropped my laptop off, and it was exciting just to get up to go out the house, to drop my laptop off. I'm really feeling this quarantine feeling, man.
Yeah, it was different before we were working, right?
Yeah.
And then when you start working, it changed up for you. Now you're like, wow, it's crazy.
I'm about to start walking my dog around the block, man. Something.
Yeah, you got. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to start a routine where I do get up a certain time, I walk for a certain amount, I do whatever I can to still get out the house. I mean, still I go to the grocery store or pharmacist, but those are exciting trips, like you said. But it's
like I really get excited. Like today, I picked my laptop up. And it was exciting just to get out the house. Like, oh, I'm about to drive in my car. Like, I don't drive. I don't go anywhere,
I literally been on a full tank of gas now for like almost 2 weeks because I don't really go far and whatnot.
I mean,
so
it definitely makes sense. So what you been watching, man? You and me, we both love movies. We love shows. And so what you been watching?
So, like I said, I pretty much working every day, but Sunday I actually had the day off. Now, ironically, I thought I had to work, so I went and got my laptop up. I got all set up. I look at the schedule. I'm not working. And this after I went to the grocery store that morning, went to visit my daughter, make sure she was okay. Brought her some pancakes. She was very happy about that.
That's cool.
And I hurried back to go to work, but I didn't have to go to work. So I watched this show called Tiger King on Netflix, which everybody probably knows about. Super popular, super funny. The girl DQ, girl I close to from Indiana, she put me on the show, and it's great. It's an amazing show. It's just it's supposed to be serious, but it's hilarious at the same time. I told you on our chat, there's so many different layers to this show. There's mayhem, there's potential murder, there's murder for hire, there's kidnapping.
Now, is all of this real?
Yes, it's all real.
Oh, okay. So it's not a fictional show.
No,
So
it's a
it's
real
like a
show.
documentary.
Yes, documentary. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
document. It's like a
Right.
6-part documentary. I watched all 6 parts. I binge watched it on Sunday,
Okay.
so I was all into it. There's even like a particular case I won't tell you about, but it was
Okay.
closed, and because of the documentary, now they're kind of like reinvestigating the case.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
crazy. Yeah. So it's like I read about that today. So
Wow.
it's you got to watch it, man. I'm sure you and my homie Sandy will be entertained by it.
Right.
Shouts out to Sandy Cheeks over there, but I'm sure they'll be entertained by the whole thing. But no, check it out. So yeah, I was glued, and I'm not, I've never get that much time. So again, that's what I'm doing right now. Like
Okay.
I never get a full day just to sit and binge watch and get through something. So
Okay.
that felt good. And then I also that night, same night, I watched Fighting with My Family,
Okay.
which was on my watch list for probably almost a year. When did the movie come out? 2 years ago, I think now?
Yeah, it's been about 2 years now.
Yeah, 2 years ago, almost a year. Finally got a chance to watch that. As I said before, I think on this, I was a huge wrestling fan back in the day, and I don't watch it as much now, but
Right.
I did want to check out the movie and find out the whole story, and I was highly, highly entertained by it. And what did you think? I mean, I'm sorry, I know you seen it well before, and probably when it came out.
Right.
So, how'd you like it as a movie, being a wrestling fan?
Okay, so first let me back up a little bit. I actually want to tell you guys a little bit about what I've been watching.
Oh yeah.
Me and Sandy watched, Sandy is my wife, if you guys didn't know. We watched a show called I'm Not Okay With This. It's a Netflix show. And it's interesting because if anyone's a fan of Stranger Things, it literally feels like the character Elle, but grown up. It's about a girl. She find out that she have powers, and it's how she's dealing with these powers as a regular girl in high school. And it's 20 minutes like of each episode, so it's definitely an easy watch. And if you like stuff like Stranger Things, it's definitely a go. So we watched the whole thing already, and again, short episodes, we was able to get through it. I've been playing a little bit of video games, and as far as other shows, Sandy's been working from home, but she works for Division of Elections, and the phone's been going crazy. So she's barely had that much time with me. She's been working overtime. So I think that's the only real show I've been consistently watching. And again, we watched it already.
I sure the other show you watched, the dating reality show on
Oh
Netflix
yeah,
too.
yeah. So we only seen an episode and a half. We didn't finish the second episode yet, but it's called Love Is Blind. Thanks for reminding me.
Yep.
It's called Love Is Blind, and it's on Netflix, and it's kind of cool. So I do like, I call them trash shows. It's just, show just for enjoyment. You don't get nothing out of it. You don't learn anything, but it's just, it's I like stuff like X on the Beach, Temptation Island, Paradise Hotel. So this show is they have 12 guys, 12 girls. They don't know each other, never met. All the guys are away in one section, all the girls are away in one section. They put you in these pods, and it's kind of like speed dating. You get in a pod, the other person in the pod, you can't see each other. So you have no clue what the other people look like. But in 30 days, or I think in 40 days, you're going to propose to somebody and marry them. So if you want to. So like the first episode, you see somebody get really close with each other, and it's like they can't even see each other, but just based off of, it's kind of like we talked about the quarantine. I mean,
right.
Right now you can't physically see people, but you could see them visually. That show, you can't see them at all, and they're talking through pods, and people
Oh
are
wow.
literally falling in love based off of just learning and hearing about this person without knowing what they look like at all. And there's people literally proposing and planning on getting married, and then the show's going to take you even to the weddings and what they meet their families and see how it works or don't work. So it's interesting. I feel like it starts off a little slow, but you could tell from the trailers and commercial that it looked like it's going to be pretty good. So
I think that's a great concept for a show.
yeah.
And it's pretty dope actually altogether. You know, could you do that or no? You had to see them. You had to see them first.
Yeah, I am a visual person, and I think being younger, I was into looks a lot, and so I was a butt guy, and as I got older, I'm not as shallow as I used to be. I think I don't want to say desperate because I want to see those people are desperate, but maybe they are. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to give them too much credit, but I think if I was older and I felt like, you know what, I don't got anybody, haven't meeting anybody, I feel like I'm not meeting anybody, let's do it. Let's see if I can find love without seeing somebody. Maybe I'll do it. Everybody in the show is fairly attractive though, which is cool. So I think they picked a good cast. So the other person, when they find, because you won't meet them unless they propose. If the person proposed to you, then you get to see each other face to face. The cool thing is, it's like speed dating. So everybody's meeting, well, talking to everybody. So you see some girls like, oh, this guy, I really like him. And some other girls sitting there like, he told me the same thing. And it's like, oh, so it gets pretty deep. But would I do it if I was a little older and I felt like just things wasn't working, I'm not finding somebody, I may be up to it. I'm one of those people that probably try a lot of different things. I'm really have a very explorative nature. So
Yeah, I
maybe.
mean, of course, I want somebody I'm attracted to, but I love the concept of just getting to know someone and their personality overall
Right.
without having that, be in the way a little bit. I
Yeah.
mean, it definitely will be hard to do, but I definitely do. I find it very interesting, the concept of this person could be your like soulmate on
Right.
some level, but you might not be attracted to them. But if you learn, like, just think about if you learn everything first before
Right.
even seeing them, and not having that be in the way. That's very. Cause I've had people, I don't know about you, in my life where I'm like, yo, she got a lot of great qualities, but I just not that attracted to her. You know what I mean, or
Right.
things like that
Right.
and whatnot. But I wonder if I didn't know whether attraction or not,
Right.
would those qualities have outweighed that? You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
here's a cool point. So my wife and I, it's similar story, but not so much. So I seen what she looked like, and I thought she was cute, right? I was attracted to her, but I was engaged when I met her, and then I got married. So I always thought she was a cute girl, and she had a really cool personality because I got to know her as a friend because she used to, work near my job. So we got to talk all the time. So it was cool because I got to learn everything about her, tell her everything about me, but I couldn't do nothing about it because I was married. And so down the road, when I got a divorce, it was like, oh, wow, I know everything about that girl. I like that girl. Maybe one day it might work out. So that's a good point because, yeah, you're in these pods. You're learning everything about the person. You're getting to be into them emotionally. Like for a guy,
Yeah.
that's cool because guys usually see, oh, the girl is hot. I want to sleep with her. But this makes these people really, really open up, give their all, and they,
Yeah.
really get to know each other.
Yeah, because on the opposite end, sometimes I don't know about you, but sometimes you stick around in not great situations because of the attraction.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
imagine, or you pursue a situation that you know may not be great for you
Right.
because of the attraction.
Here, you know what?
Imagine,
So here's what's cool about our show. We could talk about anything. I've always want to talk about this, right? So we're gonna get
all right,
a little crazy, okay? And you and
okay,
I,
all
we can have
right,
this talk. You know what fascinates me about guys, right? And or women, right? Guys, we're real sexual, right? So we see a girl like, damn, now next thing you know, we want to sleep with them or we thinking whatever. But at the end of the day, is a pretty face gonna make the sex that much better? It really isn't. But our brain thinks that. We see a hot body. We like, for instance, this girl got a big butt, right? What
right.
all are you doing with her butt when it really comes down to it? No, for real. The girl with the biggest boobs, right? Yo, look at her. But at the end of the day, like when it all is said and done, like how much more enjoyable was it that she had the whole curves when it's actually going down? Like, is her face being real pretty gonna make her better in bed? No, it's crazy.
I mean, um, facially wise, not gonna make her better, but it can
Right,
stimulate you more before things get started, I
right,
guess. Body wise, yeah, because certain things feel differently
right,
when you're doing them. So, like if you're having, sex with a woman, let's say, and it's, doggy style, right? For lack of a
right.
better term. So the bigger her butt is, it can feel differently because remember her butt's likely hitting your pelvic bone. So
Right.
that's giving you more of a excitement than sometimes a
So
smaller one would.
here's funny,
Or
right?
yeah.
I'm not gonna put names in this, right?
All
But once
right.
upon a time, a ex of mine had a big butt, right? And I remember messing with a girl with a big butt, messing with a girl with a smaller butt, right? And I remember thinking like, yo, visually, right? I'm just talking visually. So you're talking about stimulating, you see the girl with a pretty face, you're like, oh man. So visually, as doggy style, as you mentioned, looking down, I'm like, man, her butt was so big, it was messing up the view.
Yeah.
And so when I was with the girl with the smaller butt, it was a better view. And I'm like really engaged because it's looking down. I'm like, it's as if I'm watching a porn or something.
Right.
So it's funny. It like that's a real life situation that happened where I felt like, you know what? The bigger look better made me be like, whoa. But as it was going on, it was like, man, it was kind of hindering the whole, visual effect.
Experience. Interesting. Yeah. We gotta get some men comments on that, what he just said.
Definitely. For real. I'm sure all the guys gonna be like, nah, bro, you gotta have and I get it. Like, but I was thinking about this, right? Okay, so think of the mind play, right? Yo, look at her butt and look at her boobs, right? So if I'm just grabbing her butt and I'm grabbing her boobs, right? Who is that really for, right? My hands, like how much, like, oh man. But then it's like she should be getting the feeling, right? But I'm thinking it's doing more for me. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you're overthinking this a bit, bro. But
I've been thinking about it for
you've
a
thought
while.
about it though a lot. But I think you're overthinking it though.
No, not overthinking. I'm just saying I thought about it for a while. It's just cool to bring. Always want to bring it up. I actually talked to my wife about this stuff. So
yeah, what you should. But I think that depending on the people, so depending on the woman, she may get stimulated more by touch, and some women don't. Right. And then some men like to, some people don't. So like the thing about sex in general, it's always individual.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's always an individual case by case scenario, and nothing is crazy. Nothing is I can't believe that, because everybody has what stimulates them.
That's true.
And people learn that the more people that they know. And I'm not gonna say partners, but people that they meet, encounter, you'll hear just, wow, you like that? Wow, you like that? So I never turn. It's like somebody's food, right? I never yuck on your yum. Whatever you like, you like.
Right.
Your palate is not my palate. So you may find these two combinations to be great. I may not, but I won't look at your food and say, ew, that's gross. That's horrible to me. Same thing about your sex life. Right. If you say, I like this, it turns me on, I'm not gonna be like, yo, that's no. Like if you like what you like, it's cool. It just may not be for me. That's how.
That's cool. That's the best way. That's cool. So back to fighting with my family.
Right.
Again, guys, I just want to tell you, this is what you're gonna get from this show. We're not locked in. Tell them, Mike, we're not locked in.
We're not going to be strict on just a guideline of topics. We're going to talk. We're going to chat it up. Right. We're going to throw out some stuff. We're going to let you guys comment back. Let us know what you think and what other things you want us to talk about. It's more of a free show. And again, before I get to that, so once we get out of the house, I want to do things on Big Mike and Little Ant we could do together, adventures-wise. Yeah. We can go to whatever, amusement parks together. Yeah. Try out roller coasters. We can play mini golf together. We can shoot pool together, still talk, and then show us, doing these different things and interacting. Of course, go to restaurants, maybe that's new, where we can review and stuff like that. And of course, the movies, which we both enjoy very, very heavily. So this show is like that, but we will talk about some topics too as well. So
right. And guys, remember, everything Mike just said, we're gonna bring this stuff to you. So we're gonna film us going places, doing things like this show. Trust me, you stick around, it's gonna be very entertaining, because again, Mike and I we have no chains on us. We're just open. We're two open guys, and we like to laugh and have fun, and we're just gonna bring it all to you guys to entertain you and ourselves as well through the process.
Okay, so fighting with my family. Okay. Like you said, Anthony is a big wrestling fan to this day. I stopped years ago. Right. So he would, not only would he have liked the movie, but he's interested because the wrestler who's in the movie, he was watching wrestle. So I'm sure it was, different for you than it was for me, because you saw the events, some of the events portrayed in the movie happen live, which I didn't. So
yeah, and I was curious of what made you want to watch the movie. Was it just because The Rock directed it and he was in it? Because
no. When I saw the trailer when it first was coming out, I wanted to see it actually. Okay. It looked good. It looked like a good movie. I didn't make it see it, but it looked like a good movie to me. So.
And what's cool is you are a movie person. So
Right.
the cool thing is, yes, it's about a current wrestler, but you actually looked at it like, dude, it looked like a good movie.
Right.
That's cool. I thought it was pretty cool. Now, reason why I was into it obviously is because I watch wrestling, so I knew her. It's about Paige, and so I wanted to see it because I wanted to see a little bit about her past and how she came up, and also the stories that I heard. I wanted to see how well of a job they were going to do at telling the story, and plus because The Rock was producing it as well, so I wanted to see his work. I didn't see it in the movies, however. I actually seen it later on. Paige isn't one of my favorite wrestlers. She is my wife. She was one of my wife's favorite female wrestlers, but not mine. But I thought the movie was pretty good. When I found out some of the stuff was changed in the movie, it was okay for me that they did what they did. It was
Wait. Spoiler alert. So we can
okay.
talk
Well,
about
I
that.
didn't say anything. You could
Well, I
spoil
want you
it
to
if
say
you want.
something. So what the movie's 2 years old. So spoiler, but what
Okay.
did they change in the movie 2 years ago?
So remember Vince Vaughn's character?
I love Vince Vaughn, by the way, and Vince Vaughn in the movie. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I like him too. He actually was a combination of a bunch of different people. So she met a bunch of different people who helped her on her journey, and they took those individuals and pretty much create them into one character instead of showing her meet this person and this person and this person and this person. So a lot of people are like, "Oh, what Vince Vaughn must be Mick Foley. Oh, Vince Vaughn must be this person." But it was like, no, Vince Vaughn was a bunch of different people made into one character just to make it easier for the movie. So that
That's
was
not
a
a bad thing, though.
no, not at all. Not at all. I
Yeah.
mean, it wasn't, it still told her story, but to be literal to the actual events that happened, you would have to know that it was different people.
Well,
But
you remember what I told John
okay,
about the who was it? The Harriet Tubman movie.
okay,
That these movies are based on a true story.
right,
So the way movies work, you can never be like exactly accurate
right,
because there was 5 people or however many it was,
right,
and I'd rather pay 1 actor than 5 actors. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
there's always going to be things they take liberties with in those movies based on a true story. That's why they added. Remember I told John they added the word "based" in like the
Right.
1980s because before that they were saying true story, and people started
Well,
saying.
and
Go ahead.
even now they take it a step further. So remember, usually you see something based on, it's still more closer to the actual movie. Now they added inspired by. So
They
with
did.
inspired by, they change up a lot. Right.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, inspired by true events. They say now. You're right.
Right.
You're right. People
Yeah.
started complaining before about based on true story. Before that was just based on it was a true story. So
Right.
they had to start changing things because you can't really make an entertaining movie a lot. Well, for the most part, if you're going to be 100% accurate,
Right.
it's hard.
Right.
But
And then also a timeline. How entertaining is this movie going to be if you add everything that really happened? It's going to be dragged out,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Remember, it's a movie, so they
Now,
got to do jumps and stuff like
I
that.
don't know if you know this. Here's a little extra tidbit. So that girl Paige no longer wrestles. Do you know that?
I didn't know that. No.
So she actually got injured by Snoop Dogg's cousin, Sasha Banks.
Oh wow.
So remember I told you I was telling you about Sasha Banks, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so they was doing a match. It was called a dark match because it was a house show. It wasn't live. Well, it was live, but it wasn't a televised show. And Sasha does a move where she takes her back and jump on the rope, and she kicks you like that. Well, she kicked her in the back really hard, and it Paige dropped to the ground. You can actually Google it and see it on YouTube. And she was shaking. She was paralyzed for a couple seconds, and she went and got checked, and her vertebrae is messed up, so she can no longer wrestle anymore.
After all that,
Yes,
she can't even wrestle no more. That's
can't
sad.
wrestle. That sucks, man.
Yeah,
Sucks.
after all that. So
Yes.
was the other stuff true, like with her brother and all that stuff in the movie, or?
Yeah, that was really. I mean, that's hard, man. They both wanted to wrestle so bad, and he just didn't have it. And so, yeah, that is true. That is true. They both tried out, and he didn't make it. But she went on to be amazing. So her thing is, she went to the developmental brand NXT, and just like they show on the movie, well, when she left NXT and came up to the main roster, they show that match at the very end. She fought AJ Lee. So she beats AJ Lee on her first night on the main roster. And I think what they didn't show was at the time she was the NXT champion. So she literally was both when she won the belt, she was the NXT champion and at the time they called it the Divas belt, the Divas champion. Now they call it the Women's belt. And she had to relinquish the title because she couldn't have both. And so she did what they call a call up. They brought her up to the main roster, and it was a big deal. She was really young at the time. I think youngest Divas champion.
18 or 19, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So that was
Crazy.
pretty cool.
Yeah, so I saw that, and apparently that move she got from her brother or whatever, page turner.
Yeah, the page turner. Yeah.
That's crazy. So was that the real AJ Lee in the movie or no? Actor playing AJ
No,
Lee?
so that girl name is Zelina Vega, and she AJ Lee. You know who CM Punk? You obviously know CM Punk.
Yeah.
AJ Lee is married to CM Punk. So the real AJ Lee is married to CM Punk. So when he left WWE, no, matter of fact, I think she left WWE right before he did. And so they're married. But yeah, so that girl who played AJ Lee is actually a real wrestler right now in WWE.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. But you know what? She's not that big of a wrestler. Like she never had a title match. She's not like a big star, but she played as AJ Lee, but because she's small too. AJ Lee is a really short girl and she's real flexible and stuff. And this girl is similar. But
yeah, she had that weird finishing move where she climbs on you or something like that. I saw.
Right. Yeah. She did the what do you used to call it? The Black Widow. She did like a submission.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
AJ Lee is from New Jersey too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's from North Jersey.
Is she? Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope and whatnot. So yeah, I thought it was good though. I think Vince Vaughn was a good choice for that. And I didn't know Florence Pugh was the one who played Paige, actually.
Okay.
And if you know, Florence Pugh is playing the sister of Black Widow in the Black Widow movie.
Oh,
her
face looked familiar.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Dude, who is this girl?
Yes, that's Florence Pugh.
Now, is she supposed to be her real? Are they real sisters, or was they call themselves sisters?
They called it so because they were both in the Black Widow programs. They were kids, so they kind of grew up as sisters. Yelena Belova. In the comics, she becomes the Black Widow as well. After the Black Widow goes away or whatever. So
because I thought what was cool was when the casting they did. So I looked at her. So when you see Black Widow come into the room and they're sitting down eating at the kitchen table, you look at her, you look at the mom. I'm like, casting wise, that could be her mom. And then you look at the guys, like that could be her dad. And you look at Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson. You're like, they don't look alike at all. So I was curious.
No, she's supposed to be her adopted sister and whatnot. So yeah, but that's the one who played Paige. So I was like, wow, that's pretty good.
Oh,
and then I didn't know that Cersei Lannister was in the movie too, playing Paige's mom and whatnot from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, when I seen that, I was like, yo, Sandy, look.
Yeah. So I thought, and that's it. And it's crazy because she's such like a uppity queen in Game of Thrones,
right?
But then on there, she's so like just
carefree.
Yeah, wrestler chick who just like drinking and chilling and watching wrestling and stuff like that. But
now, do you remember Cersei Lannister's first big movie role where like her face? Well, I feel like it was her first big movie role where she was recognizable to me, and she had a big role.
To me, it was her first part was on. To me, I first saw her on the Sarah Connor Chronicles, playing Sarah Connor on TV. Actually,
oh wow.
Well, when they had that Terminator show for a couple seasons,
I didn't see
playing
that.
young Sarah Connor. But what is it for you actually? So.
This is Sparta. She played as the wife for Leonidas in 300.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
I think Sarah Connor was before that, though. But yeah, okay, gotcha.
Right. Yeah, that was a good role.
Yeah, definitely. Forgot about that. Crazy how he was in such great shape and then he lost that shape after that.
Hey man, it's just like what's his name? Playing Bond. He said, man, I don't want to do it anymore because I gotta be in super shape.
Yeah. I guess it's hard to maintain that shape.
What's his name again?
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig, yeah. And then Gerard Butler was in 300. Now, Gerard Butler, did you know a lot of the abs and stuff, they would spray it in. So so for instance, if you got abs, right, and if you let your hair grow, you get a shadowing, so it can kind of show your abs. But shave your hair off, so then it sometimes the way the light hit, it don't show it as defined. So they did have a thing called a 300 workout that a lot of the cast did. So people would try to do that 300 stomach workout, but they still spray painted them and did a little airbrush some of the abs in. So that's funny.
That's pretty dope, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's movie magic. I love it, man.
Movie, man. It's not. That's why. This is why you have to watch Entourage.
Okay.
I, I like. It's like the stuff behind the scene that like Entourage came out 2004. So I was what 20 actually, maybe
Okay.
22. But the stuff that I learned by watching that show about movies was just it's just awesome because I didn't realize this is how movies work and the deals with the studios and all this other stuff before watching that show. And it's funny, I didn't start watching until later on, but you know, it's just and in the show, he's a movie star, the star of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because, and it's not spoiling it all for you, but he was against going to TV because at that time and before that time, doing a TV role was like a slap in the face.
Yeah.
But now people love doing TV. Now it's like funny how the world.
You're gonna be my deciding factor, right? I'm gonna say this here on the show. What am I gonna watch? Entourage or The Office?
Oh man, you're killing me.
What are you gonna watch?
What are you gonna watch first? How about that? If you can watch both, what are you gonna watch first?
Wow, well, you tell me. I'm asking you.
Oh man.
So to me,
Office is a better show. It's funnier, and I don't know how much you actually. Well, we're about to dive into that a little bit too. But Office is funnier. It's silly. It's a better show because of the comedy in it. Entourage is a comedy, but it's like a serious comedy. So it's more interesting. Entourage, like Entourage. Okay, Office is a situational comedy, right? So a situational comedy, every episode is pretty much a different situation that brings on the plot to make the comedy funny. There's some ongoing things, you know, like different. I'm not talking about Office, Jim. I'm talking about situational comedies. So it's not a spoiler at all. But there's always ongoing things in situational comedies, like small things, like you see relationships developing, you know, little by little, or promotions that could happen or whatever, just like that. But for the most part, there's a brand new situation every episode to kind of like, even I go with drama, right? So like Law and Order SVU, right? So every episode is a different case, right? There's still ongoing things like people, again, relationships or promotions, but it's driven around a different case. Where other shows like Game of Thrones, it's ongoing.
It's continuous, right?
It's continuous, right? So Entourage is more continuous, where Office is more situational. So I don't know what you, what you prefer.
Just from looking at them both and talking to you, originally I never, ever, ever had interest in Entourage. But one thing you said was cool, and I got to experience it. You said, yo, they're only like 20-minute episodes. I was like, oh, I never knew that. Well, we just watched that show on YouTube. I don't like this. I don't like this at all, or whatever it's called. And I was like, wow, it's 20-minute episodes. That's so strange. But the pace, they did a good job in 20 minutes.
So the Entourage. Yeah.
So I feel like maybe I would pick Entourage because
probably Entourage. Because Office is a deep dive. Office like 10 seasons. Like Office will take you a little minute, even though they're half-hour episodes, but still. Office deep dive. You could probably get to Entourage in a month. Like it's 7 or 8 seasons, but they're only 10 episodes each. It was an HBO show.
Cool.
So and you'll see the development because again it's continuous stuff like that. And you learn a lot. Like I didn't and it came back to me, right? Because I didn't know how like actors certain times when they do a movie, it's a favor for the studio, even though they really don't want to do the movie. But sometimes like you scratch my back, I scratch yours. So the studio is like, I'll let you do this bigger movie you want to do, but you got to give me this one and whatnot. And then I read an article that Brad Pitt, when he did what's the movie where he's in like the 300 era age, Troy. It was a favor to the studio. He's like, I really want to do that movie, honestly. And whatnot. But the studio told me, you know, if I give them Troy, they will let me do something that I wanted to do and whatnot. But he said from that day, he said he don't do that no more. There's no more favors, no more nothing. He's going to pick his career. So if you look, like since then, he's been picking strategically different, you know, more Oscar-worthy type movies, right?
So he went from wait. He went from Troy to World War Z.
No, and it was probably like I don't know which one came out first, probably around the same time. But after that, he's doing like Moneyball, and now he's won an Oscar for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and
Right.
then Interstellar, and all. You know what I mean? He's like changed his type of roles a little bit because
Oh, no,
he's like
Brad Pitt wasn't the one in Interstellar, was he?
no, that was Matthew McConaughey. He
Yeah,
was in
okay. About to say.
he was in the recent one with the astronauts. I forget, but anyway,
Right.
that's what he was saying. Like he's kind of changed the type of stuff he would because he's like, yo, I don't want to do a favor. I want to be into the role that I want to do.
Makes
But
sense.
you'll see that type of, and I'm again no spoiling, but that type of backdoor dealings with an
Right.
entourage as well, stuff like that.
Sold me, bro. Now, is it on Netflix?
No, so it was on HBO, so you got to find it on HBO probably.
Oh wow, I don't
You
have
have
HBO.
HBO?
No,
Huh?
I only ever get HBO whenever they got a show that I like. Like when they had True Blood, then I would get HBO, and then when True Blood ended, then I cancel it.
Just get it streaming for $10 for a month and watch a couple shows or whatever, and then
Listen,
cancel it. It's
I
not a
don't want to. I know this is on our show and all, but I got other means. Don't worry, I'll find it.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say too much. HBO will shut you down. They don't play
Mm-hmm.
or whatever.
Yeah,
They literally shut whole bars down for having Game of Thrones parties. So they don't play
that's
at all.
deep.
Yeah, because they're like, yo, I get it. If you got 200 people in here watching my show, that's 200 more subscriptions I could have.
Yeah,
You know, but you got everybody. It's one thing to have 5 of us or 10 of us in a house,
right.
but you got 200 people in a bar. Like you're literally taking money out of my pocket. So I understand that. Like
Yeah.
you're making money because you're charging alcohol sales, but you're costing me money
But
because
here's
it's
the
200.
thing, though. A bunch of people drinking and watching the show. I can't imagine it's quiet in there. I would be like, yo, I can't watch this. And here I'm going home. Yeah.
I mean, for me, I agree with you,
Yeah.
but Game of Thrones have viewing parties at bars all the time before HBO kind of shut them down, honestly.
That's deep.
Because cease and desist order. But yeah, there's a lot of dialogue that I want to hear. So I'm with you. I don't want to like watch
Yeah.
it,
Yeah, I'm
like
one of those people when I watch a show, I have to hear every word. Like
right,
Sandy and I will watch a show and something will happen and she'll look at me. I'm weird, bro. I can't look at you when the show's on. Like I
right,
can't even look at you. I have to be looking at. I don't want to miss a second. I'm just
right.
like that.
Me too. Like I, I've been with girls who like wanted to have conversation
Right.
about their day when watching a show or a movie, or girls who want to start doing stuff. I'm like, listen, either we watching the show or we're not. Like we're
Right.
not gonna do both.
Yeah, like mind you, if it's like a scene where they're driving in a car going somewhere, nobody's talking, then
Right.
cool. But if they're talking, like when we watch wrestling, like there's so much downtime in wrestling because sometimes the matches get a little boring, right?
Yeah,
So
to
we
get
could
long.
talk
Yeah.
or whatever. I could turn my head, look, I could play on my phone. But as soon as they start talking, like, whoa, that's the entertainment part. Now you gotta be quiet because I need
Oh,
it, you know.
speaking of that, back to the movie for Paige. So, like, they never showed like did she ever become good on the mic? Because like in the movie, she never really got to be good on the mic at all.
Listen, she became really good on the mic. So she started this thing where that whole thing where this is did she do it in the movie? She would go like this is my house and
Yes,
everybody in the
yes.
audience scream it. Yeah, she got really good on the microphone.
Okay, all
What's
right.
cool is she's also on Total Divas, so I still get to see her.
Okay,
And then also when she got injured, this was really cool. They made her the general manager of SmackDown for a while.
that's dope.
So she had to came out and announce that she has to retire forever. But then she announced that she was the general manager of SmackDown. So that was really cool. So talk about, so if you ask did her speaking get good? Imagine she ended up being the general manager of SmackDown. So she had to do a lot of talking. So yeah. And
Wow.
then she went on to the tag team champs right now is called the Kabuki Warriors. It's two Asian ladies together. Asuka, she was like undefeated, had the longest streak. Her streak was longer than Goldberg's. Crazy, right? This other girl, Kairi Sane. So those two teamed up to form the Kabuki Warriors, and they was actually introduced by Paige. So Paige
Okay.
actually brought them out as a tag team.
So was that true too about AJ Lee? Was she like the longest reigning champion at that time?
She was. Yeah, she was.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
she
All
was. She was on fire, man. Yeah.
right. Okay.
Yeah, she
I
was
wonder why. Like I know it's all politics. This is behind the curtain, but I
right.
wonder why they had Paige beat her in her first match, and on
So
on
what
Raw
I
like a
speculate
super.
is they was having issues with CM Punk. So here's the thing. Again, this is just what you hear, but Vince McMahon is Petty Pendergrass.
Yes, I know this.
So
Yeah.
so if he's having issues with people, man, he would make you be here and be down here. Like, he don't play. And so I think AJ Lee was a byproduct of the issues that was happening with CM Punk, because CM Punk was having issues with Triple H, which
Well, this
obviously,
is how he used to come out and drop pipe bombs or whatever. CM
yeah,
Punk.
around
Okay, I
that
remember
time,
that.
that's when things like some of the pipe bombs he was dropping was real. Like when
I
he said
know.
to Triple H, you need to take your balls out your wife's purse. Everybody was like,
Yeah.
oh, and then Triple H
Yeah.
was like, I'll slap your skinny fat A. And it was like, yo, yeah, that was real. But yeah, AJ Lee was she was really good, but she was phasing out, you know. So
Gotcha.
and Paige was on fire in NXT. So it's kind of like, so what WWE is good for is you pass the torch. So for instance, when Undertaker was undefeated at WrestleMania for 21 WrestleMania.
I remember. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So everybody was like, yo, is anybody ever gonna beat him? Is
He
he
lost
gonna
to Brock,
retire?
right?
Huh?
He lost to Brock, right?
Yeah, to
First?
Brock. So,
Yeah.
but come to find out, that was Undertaker's plan. Undertaker said, listen, I want to give back. So I want someone to beat me to actually be built up based off of my loss. And ever since then, I mean, Brock Lesnar was already a beast, but Brock Lesnar is like the new, like, undefeated. Like, he lost only a few times since then, and he's just been on a tear. I mean, just, he had the belt multiple times, like nobody could beat him. Like, he's one of the smartest wrestlers because he utilized his popularity in UFC and went back and forth with WWE and UFC and made so much money. So he had UFC wanting him to come back. He had WWE wanting him to stay. Then Vince actually allowed him to go to UFC and still be under contract, which you can't do. And Dana White from UFC allowed him to do it. So then he went back and made more money. It was like crazy what's going on with Brock Lesnar, but it all started when he beat Undertaker Street. So
do you remember the back when he first was on in there, that superplex on the Big Show where it broke the ring?
Yes, sir.
SmackDown. Oh man, that was crazy,
that was
man.
Awesome. Yeah.
What? Do you remember like the announcer's table was falling off and everything like
Yeah,
that?
I remember the coolest thing was the ref was in the ring, and when he did it, the ref was like, "Oh!"
I
know. Yeah, that was cool, man.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And that was real. Like, nobody expected that to happen at all.
Right. They tried to recreate that a couple of times, but yeah, after you've seen it once and it was real, it's hard to see it again and it not be real. You know, it's staged. You know.
Right. That was just amazing. It was a SmackDown, actually. I remember that, actually.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. See, I told you, man. I'll be having this wrestling knowledge. Bro.
Yeah, man. Look, you know a little bit of something.
Oh, here we go.
I'm not gonna say you know as much as me, but you know, well, maybe with ECW and some other stuff. But listen, man. I'm a wrestling guy, man. There was only a few years where I wasn't as into wrestling. It was probably 98 and 99 because I was going to school for electrical wiring, and I used to live at school, and you couldn't really watch TV all the time.
That was the best time. What? That was the beginning of the Stone Cold era and the whole Attitude Era, really, actually. That's crazy.
Well, that probably was a little bit earlier because I remember Stone Cold in 98 for SummerSlam, he went against, because I watched it at Job Corps, he went against The Undertaker. So I remember seeing it at Job Corps. So that was SummerSlam of 98. So I wasn't that into wrestling in 98, probably 99, and I got back into it in 2000 when I moved back to New Jersey.
Okay, all right. But you did miss a lot of good stuff.
I missed some good stuff. I never seen the Ministry of Darkness era. I missed all of that. Like I missed when The Rock he was like the corporate champion. I missed
you missed all that.
Stuff. I missed
you missed all the Rock versus Mick Foley matches and all that stuff or whatever.
No. I saw it when they was a tag team.
No. When they were fighting each other, I'm talking about.
Right.
The Rock was corporate champion. He fought Mick Foley like three times in a row for the championship and stuff.
Yeah, I might have missed some of that. And plus, there was a point in time where I was a diehard WCW fan also. Okay. Stone Cold is actually what brought me back. So I was diehard watching WCW, and then somebody was like, "Yo, they got this dude on WWE come out cursing," and back then, like, you could curse, but not like Stone Cold. I'm like, well, he said what? Like, yeah, he get in the ring, be like, "I'll whoop you, I'll whoop yay, I'll whoop yay." I'm like, man, ain't nobody saying that. They're like, yo, I'm telling you, you got to check out WWE. I'm like, man, WWE's trash. So I end up tuning in one day. Let me see this Stone Cold whatever guy. And I just was blown away by Stone Cold, started to slowly watch WWE again. And then I just was like, yo, I'm WWE, man. So,
all right, I don't want to get too far down a wrestling rabbit hole here, but we
gotcha.
will do a some sort of a top 10 wrestlers, some sort of a top wrestler
Something.
show. Yeah, something. Going from maybe up until 2010 where I started watching it.
Gotcha.
Therefore, we can be on even playing field, stuff like that, on
Gotcha.
another show. But also recently I saw your wedding photos, bro. That was pretty dope, man. You had
Yeah,
six groomsmen and
yeah.
6 bridesmaids.
Yes,
That's see, I always thought that'd be too many, but apparently that's you were good with that.
No, listen, man. My friend who I DJ'd his or I emceed his wedding for him, man, he had 14 guys and 14 girls. Yes. And we literally said to him, so when me and my boy, give a shout out to DJ Justin Love, he was the DJ and I was the MC. We went out to do his help him wedding plan. We actually helped him plan a wedding. And Justin was like, listen, bro, everybody's not having a song. That's too much. So they had a specific song for everybody who came out, all the couples, all the bridesmaids and groomsmen, and then a specific song for the maid of honor and the best man. And that, so they had 3 different songs instead of each of the 14 couples. It was crazy.
Yo, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I thought your 6 was a lot. Like that's
no, you
amazing.
know what? Not for nothing. I've hosted a lot of weddings. Man, on the channel, I got a lot of weddings on the channel. I got probably about 6 weddings in my phone that I recorded that I haven't even put on the channel yet. And 6 isn't bad. Like 6.
And I saw Sandy came out to Jesse Powell. I said, look what they know about this song, Jesse Powell. A lot of people don't know about Jesse Powell. Okay.
Yeah, man. She didn't, but
that's funny. Where were y'all at? Where was the venue?
It was actually at the Scottish Rite Center in Bordentown. That's where we used to go to church at. So our church and the pastor was actually that was our pastor. So we did it there, and he married us. So it was cool.
Why do you do it inside? I'm curious about that.
We listen, every girl, man, you want to have a wedding outside, man. Beautiful wedding outside.
Okay, all right. I'm just curious.
That's what she wanted, man. And you know what's crazy? I can't make this up. That day, it was drizzling. It was raining. I kid you not. When she walked outside, it cleared up. It stopped raining. As she was walking to me, it stopped raining. It was beautiful, man.
Where was the reception?
The reception was inside.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't that expensive then. That's not too bad then.
Yeah, no, it was okay. I mean, I got it actually written down. If we ever get together, I can show you. Like I have, I'm real meticulous with stuff. So I literally wrote down how much every single thing cost for our wedding. So, from the cake, from just everything. We even had some complications. You might have noticed, there was a restaurant called Rosa's in Bordentown.
Yeah.
And they actually had a hepatitis A outbreak. And it was in the newspaper and everything. Well, that was our original caterer. And so because they was in news, the guy who owns the Scottish Rite, he said, listen, we don't want her business here. It's popular right now. Everybody's know about it. That wouldn't be good for us, a hepatitis outbreak. So we went to her and said, listen, we have to cancel. She did not give us our $500 deposit back. She was like, no, you're the one canceling. I was like, ma'am, I can say if it was a birthday party or something, I'll still have it. But this is our wedding. We're going to have people not want to come to the wedding and not want to eat the food because of you guys are in the newspaper. It was crazy.
Right.
But yeah, she kept on
I feel like wedding deposits, like reception deposits, they're like, once it's gone, it's gone. Like it's pretty much you're either married or no. Like it's crazy because I lost $1,000 on deposit when I was going to get married at a beautiful venue in South Jersey, and I didn't wind up using that, or I didn't get married there. But nevertheless, $1,000 down the drain. They want $1,000 up front.
Did you not get married, or you got married somewhere else?
Well, we actually wound up using Justice of the Peace for my ex-wife.
Okay, got you. Okay.
Yeah, ex-wife people. But when I was, I'm gonna say when I was married, but we just went to the courthouse later on. But before that, we did look at a location, and it's gonna be like same thing, 100-something people, 10,000, 12,000. I forget what it was gonna be, but nevertheless, $1,000 deposit that I lost or whatever. So I
Yeah.
was pretty
Yeah,
mad about
weddings are a lot of money, and because I was married before, I was trying to get out of it, but it wasn't fair to her because she was like, I was never married before, but I knew the amount of money it was going to cost, well over 10 grand, and nobody's helping us. We're paying for it ourselves. But you know what? First time she was getting married, she wanted the bells and whistles, and so we did it, and it was cool. And our honeymoon was amazing. Our honeymoon was the best. Was the best trip we ever took. We went to Mexico, and it was cool. So it all worked out.
one day when she's not busy. She got to become a guest star on the show. I want to ask her how does. It's for personal reasons too, for me personally, because I'm in a situation, right? But how does a person who was never married feel about marrying a person who was married before and whatnot? So I want to actually ask her that, or it could just be on the phone. I'm curious about that actually. So,
so listen, man, why don't we get into our movies, our list?
Yeah. So we wanted to movies because we both love movies, and of course we're all home. Coronavirus, quarantine. As you heard, I binge watched the other day, and we wanted to talk about comedy movies now.
Right.
And what will be a good comedy movies for a couple reasons. One, because you're home anyway, and two, because there's so much negativity in the news right now. Even on your phone, on your social media, that's all you're going to see. Why not just laugh and take a trip away from what's going on in the world and watch one of these great movies? We want to go through our top 5 movies, 5 through 1. Anthony will start. What we think are 5 of the greatest comedies of all time. So you go ahead and start.
All right. So again, I'm an entertainment guy. I don't need to have somebody who was Academy Award winning. I like to watch stuff that just entertains me. I'm an outside of the box guy. So some stuff I'm going to mention, people are going to be like, I agree. I'm going to mention some stuff, they're going to be like, why is that on your list? So my number 5 is probably going to be something you never heard of. But I've watched this movie a bunch of times, and it's just funny as heck. Sex Drive. It came out in 2008. Have you heard of it?
I think I've heard of it. Who's in it?
It's I don't even know. I'm trying to think who in the movie. So the
What's
one
it
guy,
about? How about that? What's it about?
Okay, so this guy really likes this girl, but he doesn't tell her, and so he is planning on going cross country to meet some girl he met on the internet, so he can sleep with her. So sex drive.
Right.
So he steals his brother's cool car, takes his best friend and the girl that he really likes, but she look at him as just friends, right? So he's driving on this road trip to meet this girl, and along the way the craziest stuff happened. They go to this Amish festival, Rumpspringer. It's something they do once a year. It's called a Rumpspringer, and it's just hilarious. Matter of fact, the dude I like, I don't know his name. What's his name? That plays Cyclops.
Yeah, I think it's about Jason. No,
I can't think of it right now. I like him so much, and I don't know his name.
Right. He was a Sonic recently. But go ahead.
This dude is his levels, man. He's in serious stuff, horror stuff, comedies, you name it. Well, anyway, he plays the older brother, and it was his car that his brother stole. So he come home, realized his car is gone, but he got the LoJack, so he go to track him down, and dude, it's so funny. The raunchy sexual jokes, it's hilarious. And they got this one nerdy kid, which you would know this kid because he's been in a lot of stuff. This nerdy kid, but he's like so cool. But you look at him like, dude, he's so nerdy, but he's like the cool guy with the glasses on, and he could get all the chicks. And it's just like, wait, what?
It's James Marsden, by the way.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that's my number 5, Sex Drive. It's hilarious.
Okay, that's definitely something I will check out because you requested it. I mean, you said you like it, so never heard of it, but I will definitely check it out. My number 5, mine are going to be more popular movies amongst different crowds. Obviously,
because if it doesn't have an Academy Award winner,
there's no Academy Award winners in it, but just people know these are funny movies.
Okay.
So, but I don't think so. Yeah, none have Academy Award ones in it. But my number 5 is going to be 40-Year-Old Virgin,
Okay.
actually. Which everybody's probably seen that.
Classic. Yeah.
Classic movie, hilarious. I think it's hilarious throughout. And a little people in the movie, Paul Rudd, before he was really big at the time, Seth Rogen with a part in the movie. It's just classic. And if you like, for you, like, because you didn't see The Office, but that's almost like a version of the Office character in 40-Year-Old Virgin of Michael Scott. So it is. It's got so many punchlines, and just the card table scene is just hilarious to me. And I'm going 40-Year-Old Virgin for number 5 movie. So.
That's cool. All right, so coming in at number 4 for me, this is a little dated, bro. It came out the year you was born, 1984. A classic for me, in my age, Police Academy. I know.
That's great. I love all the Police Academies. Actually.
Okay, cool. So. Well, part one.
It's not the best one.
In my head, I knew that it was real funny, right? But I watched the trailer today just to remind me, and I'm laughing so hard at the trailer and remembering the characters. I'm like, Mahoney was like that guy, like he's the ladies' man guy. And then they had like Hightower, the really tall black dude. I remember when he flipped over the police chief's car. And
a former NFL player, actually.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So just the banter with everybody and just the jokes they did back then was really. It was probably a little raunchy for me as a kid, but I don't even know if my mom allowed me to watch it. But anyway, I never forget that. It was just a funny comedy. And I'm talking about really good stars. The funny thing is, I always wonder why the guy played as Mahoney, which was star, never became a big star, because he was like the main guy. And
he did though.
Huh?
He did though in the 80s. I mean, some of those movies in the 80s that he was in were super huge. Probably 3 Men and a Baby. He was one of the 3 men. And remember that?
I didn't realize. I gotta go and check that out.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah.
Tom Selleck and the other. Yeah, it was like him, and then they have part 2 and a few others. Just look at his career. He actually did become. I wouldn't say became a huge star, but he became at least like a B level. I would say at the very least.
Yeah, I felt like he was so good. Like, and I feel like that movie was so popular. I was just shocked that he never was like, starring him or something in a movie. It was shocking. But yeah, that's awesome movie, Police Academy.
Yeah, so to me, the best one was actually Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol. I think that was the best of the Police Academies overall. And it actually, funny because it actually had, what's her name in it? Sharon Stone, who actually played Mahoney's kind of love interest in the movie, who went on to, be in Basic Instinct and stuff like that. David Spade was in the movie. Citizens on Patrol was one of the skateboarders. And Tony Hawk was in the movie as a young skateboarder in that particular movie. And I liked hold on, what's the guy's name? Oh, I liked Captain Harris better than the captain in part 1. The more heavyset guy.
Yeah.
I thought Captain Harris was funnier than him. That's why I take that over Police Academy 1 or whatever. So, in my opinion, so I loved all the Police Academy growing up. So trust me,
that's
they're
cool.
they're my movies and whatnot. But and I think it had the Blue Oyster scene is so hilarious. Oh my god! So that's my movie. But my number 4 is also from the 80s, surprisingly and whatnot. And it's going to be, or is it 91? Maybe. Huh. I don't know about that. But it's no, it's 80s. Coming to America, actually.
Okay. That was 1988.
1980. Look at that. So don't question my age no more. But Coming to America.
You were 4 years old when that movie came out.
It doesn't matter. My number 4 movie, because I was 4 years old. So my number 4 movie, 4 Horsemen, right? But number 4 movie, and it was it's just hilarious. The Eddie Murphy, that was like kind of to me his breakout. As far as a single person, like he was in Trading Places, but Dan Aykroyd was a huge known comedy presence as well. So that was kind of back and forth. You go to like Beverly Hills Cop, even though he was good in that, he was a cop in that. So I didn't feel like he could just stand out as a comedian because he had to be a cop. It also was like a, it was a mystery because they're solving a, like a crime and stuff like that. But then in the 48 hours, he's kind of like straight. He wasn't really funny in that. But then when you go to Coming to America, oh my God, he got to play all those roles: the barber, the guy, sexual chocolate. That's what he's like. Saw him do everything at that time, and then it was a well-written movie too. The backdrop of it. It was classic 80s. Like, even though I was young, I'm still, grew up in part of the 80s. And I remember some of those tropes. I remember the people walking around with the jerry cans and stuff like that. And just some of the music and how, and things like that. So it's definitely Coming to America, man. It's a lot. It's time. If it's on, I'm going to watch the route. Like, it is so funny. It is so good. So there you
go. That's funny because Coming to America is my number 3 movie.
Wow. Yeah. Look at that. Yo, we finally got one alike.
Yes,
look
sir.
at that.
That's my number 3 movie. And you also left out Arsenio Hall played a great co-star.
He did. Yeah, his best friend. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know what else to add on to it than you did, but yeah, the movie, how it was written, like him coming to the United States and he's a king. Now remember, the whole thing was he didn't want no one to know. He wanted to fall in love. So for some people who didn't see this movie, you might want it's not dated at all. You'll watch it now and be like, it's funny. So him being a king or a prince in another country, a king, sorry, and he wanted to find a bride, but not someone that would do everything he wanted. So back in his country, it said, where are you gonna find a woman that's gonna be like that? That's not gonna be submissive and listen to everything you say. He was like, America. So he comes to America, trying to find a woman, but to find someone and not let them know he's a king. And he ended up finding the person he's in love with, didn't tell her, and I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, that movie, Arsenio Hall being his guy to go around with him everywhere to make sure he keeps him in line. And even the scene where he's working as pretty much a janitor. And he's
Samuel
all like,
Jackson scene.
Huh?
The Samuel Jackson scene. I forgot about that.
And he's all like, oh man, excited about his job. And people's like, what? But he's actually working for the first time and not having servants. Awesome movie. But yeah, that's my number 3, man.
Okay. My number 3. Sorry, I was looking at something else. Somebody else wants to get me in a Zoom meeting, actually, so it's funny. But my number 3, actually, I'm gonna take a little forward right now. Okay. It's gonna be Wedding Crashers with our guy Vince Vaughn.
Okay.
Vince Vaughn, and Owen Wilson is just Owen Wilson. It is so. I always mix up Owen and Luke for a second. Owen Wilson. Yeah. It is so funny. And at that time in my life, like, it just, I was young. And it was just like, I don't know, it was like, boom, like blew my mind. Right. How funny it could be. The whole concept is good because it's people crashing weddings, which actually happens all the time. Right. Which is hilarious, by the way. Vince I think Vince is at his like top of his game at that particular movie. You know what I mean? And it's funny because Vince, it can play, like he's not funny and I mean he has funny lines and Fighting with My Family, but he's not like a comedian or whatever. Right, right. He can play both roles or whatever. You remember the movie Domestic Disturbance where he played the stepdad? And I think the father, and he, was like an evil stepdad beating on the mom. Or something. Like, there was nothing funny about that role at all. Right. He was scary as hell. But then he could play like this hilarious guy in Wedding Crashers. So, and Owen Wilson being the silly one, I thought that was good. Right. Bradley Cooper, that was like one of his first roles. Yeah. And whatnot as as a boyfriend in that movie. And then and just overall to me that's my second my third favorite movie.
Yeah. My favorite Vince Vaughn movie is The Breakup. Hilarious.
No, Breakup gets dark. Like it starts out okay, but then to me, I'm sorry, it starts out okay and it has funny parts. And of course I love what's the guy from Ozark? He plays their friend or whatever.
The guy who played as he was gay?
No, you're talking about the brother. I'm talking about the guy who was their friend, who kept the realtor guy. Anyway, I like him of course a lot, but um and ironically it had his friend was I think John Favreau or whatever from Iron Man movies,
Okay, yeah.
actually the bartender.
Nah,
But
just a scene with the gay brother, and he was
that's
like,
hilarious. Yeah,
man, that's funny. But yeah, that
I feel like that's more of a dramedy because of the breakup
okay,
aspect.
gotcha.
And you know parts of that it gets kind of like it gets kind of dark, and at the end they don't wind up, spoiler alert, they don't wind up together.
Yeah. Well,
I thought that
like I
was,
said, that's just my favorite
yeah, I
movie.
thought that was good for a twist because you always see a happy ending,
Right.
and I thought it was cool they see each other, embrace each other, and it's like, hi, you look good, you
Yeah.
look good, and I see you around. And
Yeah.
that's more realistic to life than always meeting somebody 5 years later like, oh my god, it was great together. So I like that aspect.
Right.
However, as far as funny wise, just talking about funny wise,
Right.
I don't think it's funniest to me.
Yeah.
I'll take old school over that actually.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't say his funniest movie, but that's my favorite movie. That movie
Gotcha.
was yeah, real funny. I like the dynamic of it. But here's something you're gonna kill me over. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I never fully watched Wedding Crashers.
What?
I never got through the whole thing. Like I watched it many different times, but I can't actually say I watched the whole movie.
Why? You
No,
didn't like it? Was it funny to you or?
no, you know what? I don't know whatever was going on in my life at the time, but maybe I just wasn't into comedies. I just didn't. I heard it was so good. Same thing with 40-Year Virgin. I took forever to watch that movie, like forever. I must have seen that movie so late.
I
Um,
think during that time in your life, I mean, whatever you were doing, but during that time was like, the heart of all these comedies coming out.
mhm,
The 40-year version, Wedding Crashers, Old School, Super Bad, Knocked Up.
right,
They all were in the same like 3 year span.
right.
So I think you might have been, whatever you were doing, you might have,
Yeah, I don't know.
gone
You
through.
gotta tell me the year, but whatever. But
I think it was probably like between like '04 and '07. They were like
okay,
all in that same time period and whatnot.
right.
So
All
yeah,
right. So my number two on the list is gonna be it's probably the funniest movie. It's probably more funny than my number one, but my number one is a little biased because that's my favorite comedian. But number two is Bad Santa. Now it's the one of the most raunchiest movies, but
it
it's
is.
so funny. I mean,
It
the
is.
humor. Not
It
everybody's gonna
is.
like this movie because the humor is so dark and nasty. But so before I was in the church, I loved it. Then I started getting into church. I was like, dude, how did I like this movie so much? Because it was just so like, man, that movie is. I mean, you got the midget. I mean, his banter, and he's like, he take nothing from no one, and he's so quick with his comebacks, and he's so like his humor is so dark. So it's
Right.
like, yo, what did you just say to me? Like when Bernie Mac was like, what did you say to me, midget? He was like, your wife, my lips was on your wife last night. I'm like, yo, oh man, I'm gonna put my whole fist in your
Yeah.
man.
Billy
That
Bob Thornton's pretty funny too, actually. So,
yeah, everybody. Listen, the fat kid with the curly hair. That was
yeah.
like everyone played a perfect part, and everyone was funny in their own right. Like the prostitute lady that was not the love interest, but Billy Bob was messing with every now and then. And I remember she was like, I'm not, I couldn't sit down for a week. I mean, listen, I
Yeah,
can't
yeah, I know. I
even
remember that. Yeah,
mention, yeah, man, that movie, listen.
that was crazy.
I watched
Yeah.
it in the movies. I owned the regular version, the uncut version. Like I watched that movie so many
Yeah.
times.
Well, he said that to her. He said, "You ain't gonna sit down for weeks." So like, it was hilarious.
I was
So.
like, what? And that was in the dressing room at
Yeah,
like
the
the
dress. I
mall.
remember. Yeah, yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Good stuff. Good
Like,
stuff.
what about the kid? He was like, I got you something, Santa. He's like, what's this? A wooden pickle. It's like, what the? I'm like, a wooden pickle? What? Oh, man.
um. So my number two is from that
Okay.
same era I was talking about. So I don't know
Okay.
if you've seen it or not, but it's Will Ferrell, and Gotta have Will Ferrell on this list because Will Ferrell is just a comedic genius, and he was in his A game at this time. But it's Talladega Nights.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Oh my God, I love Talladega Nights.
Right,
Some people like Step Brothers better
right.
with him and John C. Riley, but I like Talladega Nights better. Also, R.I.P. Michael Clark Duncan, who was in Talladega Nights
Yeah,
actually, and it's just he plays that country race car driver so good. You never think that he wasn't. And the dinner table scene is one of the funniest scenes to me in movie history.
right.
Actually, when the little kids and the grandpa, and I don't want to get into it, but it's
Right.
just the best.
Yeah.
And his his like you know some of his things like the scene where he says with all due respect. Remember, I did say with all due respect. Then he says something bad, and he's like, "Let me say with all due respect. No, me can say something if you want to." He said, "Yes, it does. It does right there." Like that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what the hell? So that to me is every time I watch it, I'm quoting lines.
Right.
It used to be like they're just singing from that movie. Like it used to be my text tone. I used to work in a phone store, and there's a scene. It used to be my actual text tone, and every time I would go off in the phone store, everybody who was in there shopping would be cracking up or whatever. So I think it was the part about it was dinner table scene when
Right.
all you ever did was your loud nigga hot daughter. That's it. That's it. When he talks to Chip or whatever like that, and it's hilarious to me. So that's definitely my number two. I can't think of any reason why I wouldn't be. So
That's cool, man.
have you seen that?
Yeah, yeah. You know what's funny? Talladega Nights was the very first Blu-ray I owned
Okay.
because it came with the first Blu-ray player we bought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
All right.
that's cool.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's definitely a funny movie. Might be with the I like Step Brothers a little bit better also.
Yeah.
Maybe.
People go back and forth between those two. I think Step Brothers, because they're grown, 40-something-year-old men acting like little kids. I mean, I get it. I get the funniness for it, but
Right.
it doesn't really keep
Yeah.
me as
I
much as
totally get that part because it's like certain movies, the scenery of the movie has to also be funny. I think that made it funny, but it also made it like wait, it was too silly. It wasn't like you can't even take it serious at all because of the setting. But
right.
yeah, it was pretty funny though.
Yeah. Definitely had a funny moment to it.
Yeah.
It's like to me, I guess I got eventually it's like, okay, after like an hour and 20 minutes, I'm like, all right, you guys are 40-year-olds, living
Right.
at home, acting like this. It's like, grow up. You know what I mean? So
Right.
kind of like lost me in the beginning. It was one of those things I feel like it would have been like a good hour TV show rather than like a whole
Gotcha.
movie for me to keep me going. With Talladega Nights, I don't know. But that's my opinion. But what's your number one, man? Number one.
Coming in at number one from 1997, my favorite comedian of all time is, and you know this man, Chris Tucker. And me personally, the funniest movie of all time for me is Money Talks.
Mhm.
For me, Money Talks was so funny.
Charlie
Reason
Sheen.
being, Chris Tucker personality in this is he's just a tough, right? He don't take nothing from nobody. He's just a crazy ghetto dude, cool guy, and just they put him in all this different scenarios and situations with Charlie Sheen where he was able to his character was able to blow up. I remember him on Def Comedy Jam, and I remember him telling a joke which just was hilarious. And I mean, this is going back, and he was like, he told his joke where he was upstairs with a girl and his mom was downstairs and his mom is like, what are you doing, boy? Get down here, Chris. And he's like, I'm coming, mama. And she's like, get down here now, Chris. I'm coming, mama. It's like, Chris, if you don't shut the, then I'll come. Like, dude, Chris Tucker from that joke on Def Comedy Jam when he was like a nobody, he was hilarious to me. And in Money Talks, I feel like his personality. That's
Yeah, he had then he had the black vest on with the t-shirt on Def Comedy Jam. I remember that. Actually.
Yes, yeah. No,
Yeah.
that was Tony something. No, that was a different guy. That was the real built dude.
No, it was Chris. Man, okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
All right. Anyway, but Money Talks, man. Like just today, so to prepare for the show, I wanted to take myself back. So for I was watching trailers of some of the movies on my list, right? To
Okay.
remind me like what was more funnier. I already knew Money Talks was my top, but I watched
Gotcha.
an 8-minute clip of the funniest moments, and one of my funniest moment actually wasn't in the clip. Funniest moment for me was when he went to Charlie Sheen's house and he went to go to the bathroom. He was like, "You better clean this tub, dirty A white boy." Like, man, dude, he when he was in the on the bus going to prison and he's sitting next to the tough dude, he was like, "Yo, move over, man." And the dude looking at him like he's acting like he's so tough and this guy could probably kill him. And he was like, "When we get off this bus, I'm gonna kick you." Oh man, dude, that's my movie. Funniest movie. I love it.
Okay, all right. That's good. That was a great movie. Charlie Sheen being straight. It was a great movie. So
Yeah,
I got to
man.
give you that. I will give you props for that one. Usually I don't give you a lot of props for movies,
I
but I'll
know.
give you props for that one. But um, so my number one is funny because I loved Def Jam too back in the day, and I was a lot younger than you. So I remember I
Uh-huh.
used to sleep over a friend's house, and it came on, and we would like sneak and stay up and like go down to the living room and be real quiet and watch the episode while his mom and dad would sleep and stuff like that
Right, right.
because we're a lot younger and really was supposed to be watching Def Jam. So remember, it came on like midnight too. It was like
Yeah,
super late
yeah,
when it came on and whatnot.
yeah,
But we used to like watch it, and they had to go the next morning to go somewhere. They were like, "Why are you so tired?" But they would never know we watched Def Jam the night
yeah.
before. So crazy times. But with that being said, my number one is also Chris Tucker. So
Wow.
I know, which is crazy. So we're 2 for 2. However, mine is Friday. It's
Okay.
gotta be Friday.
Gotcha.
Friday's number one of
Part
all
one.
time.
Part one.
Yeah, part one with Chris
Okay.
Tucker. Chris Tucker. And Ice Cube, Friday. Friday is so quotable. Almost every frame in the movie has laughter in it. And
Right.
that's like a great comedy. There's like no lull where it's even not supposed to be serious,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very funny. Still kept it true to life in South Central LA, what was going on back then, but also able to have that comedic tone after having movies in South Central LA, like the Boys in the Hoods,
Right.
of
Right.
the world, and South Central, where they showed the crime element. But Ice Cube wanted to show we can also have fun while we're out here doing this. And I love Straight Outta Compton because it showed him actually writing Friday, which came later on. But I just thought it's. I mean, Chris Tucker's funny. AJ Johnson's in the movie. He's funny. Tiny Zeus Lester's in the movie
Right.
or whatever. Also, I remember when he fought Hulk Hogan,
Yes, sir.
too in wrestling. But he's in the movie. It's just overall. And Pops, oh my God, R.I.P. Pops. Pops is hilarious in
Yeah,
that
man.
movie too, as well. Bernie Mac is in the movie. There's so many comedians who weren't big back then who were in that movie. Faison Love, and the list goes on. DJ Pooh goes on and on and on.
Great.
And even Regina King, who's now going on to win several Emmys and
Right.
nominated for all types of stuff for stuff she does now on TV and stuff like that. So to me, Friday was great for our culture, which I always like to give a shout out to the culture for what it did for all the actors, and it just was a funny movie. And
Yeah.
again, that's on. People are watching. It's so quotable. It's so good. It is definitely timeless, and that's why I love timeless movies. No matter how long
Right.
passes, it's still very funny and very good. So that's going to be. And if you notice, just like you, all of our movies are before social media,
Right.
this type of video chatting stuff like that, where the people in the movies were engaged with each other more than just their cell phones, which I think made it even funnier
Yeah.
because of that
Definitely.
situation,
Yeah.
and
Well,
whatnot. That's
here to go back further, do you realize in that movie was probably the first time the term fat was used for a woman? So in the movie, Heather Locklear was dating
yeah, pretty hot tempting. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
yeah, and he said,
yeah,
"Girl, you fat," and she was like,
yeah.
"What?" He was like, "Fat." She was like, "He was like, pretty high tempting."
Yeah, definitely right there with it. But I give the nod to Friday. So
Oh yeah,
that's my
Friday.
number one, and those are movies, at least 9 different ones because we both had what do we have Harlem Nights on our list. No, I mean Coming to America on our list.
Right.
But at least 9 different ones that you guys can watch.
That's right.
You should watch while you're home right now to take your mind off of what's going on in the world. So
I'm telling you, sleeper hit is Sex Drive. A lot of people probably didn't hear of it, but it's hilarious.
I feel like it's either gonna be a sleeper hit, or I'm gonna go to sleep watching it. But I will check it out because he wanted me to. So if I had to say it was definitely a sleeper hit, it could be either way. However, we appreciate y'all. We do want to end the show at this point. We don't want to keep y'all for too long. Know you're busy and stuff like that. We'll be back next week with another one. You want to sign off there, Anthony?
Yeah, definitely, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please, we really mean it. Comment, like it, subscribe it, share it. Please give us your feedback. We don't mind constructive criticism. We want to entertain you guys as we also are entertaining ourselves. So thank you so much for watching. And this is Big Mike and Little Ant, and we're gonna sign off.
All right, peace out.